Well, you guys asked the questions, and today I am answering them. Hi, it's Rachel from 7 and All, and today is a very special video because I am celebrating the fact that the 7 and All channel just hit 2,000 subscribers, which I am so amazed by, practically astounded, and I just really wanted to say thank you to all of you guys, all of you who are showing up consistently. You watch these videos and leave such encouraging comments and inspiring, insightful comments, and I am truly grateful for the community that has been growing around this channel. When 7 and All started, as some of you know if you've been here around a long time, it wasn't so much in homeschool, but homeschool is such a big part of our life that it just eventually angled in that direction, and I found my niche, and I am enjoying this greatly. I have enjoyed making all these videos, and I am so grateful to all of you guys who have told me, oh, I'm sharing this with my friend because I think it will really encourage her, or all these different encouraging comments. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us get to 2,000, and thank you also with the recent release of Where'd You Learn That and my new preschool curriculums and what more is coming for Where'd You Learn That. I am so thankful for your encouragement and support. For those of you who have already bought units and resources from us, or who have been talking about it to your friends already, seriously, you guys are awesome. You are so encouraging, and I feel like my passion for homeschool grows because of you and because of all of your words that you say and the community. I am so glad that homeschoolers today have a community that didn't exist in decades previously. So this video is a thank you to you. In this video, I will be answering some questions that various of you have asked when I asked on Instagram and as well in the community tab. So I'll be answering some of those questions first, and then stick around to the end because there will be a giveaway, and I'll explain how to enter at the end. All right, for answering these questions, I kind of divided it into two parts. I'm going to answer the more homeschool related questions at the beginning and the more personal related questions at the end, just because I figure a lot of you are probably more interested in the homeschool related stuff. So let's get started with that. Now I do not have a phone. You know, everyone's always like, oh, I'm looking at my phone to read the questions. This is me. I scribbled them all down on a piece of paper in pink and purple ink. That's how I do it. And the first question I'll be asking is, what is your main priority or goal as a homeschool mom? And then there was kind of a second part to the question, which was, is this different from your mom's priority or goal? Because as many of you do know, I am a second generation homeschooler. So I would say my main priority, goal, vision for my homeschool is very much focused on relationship. And it's relationship in three areas: relationship with God, with faith, relationship with family, and relationship with learning. That's my main goal. That's the thing that that is what everything I do is focused behind this goal of, I want my kids to have a positive, strong, healthy, good relationship with God, with their faith in God. I want them to have very strong relationships within their family, and I want them to have a good relationship with learning and with education in general. So for me, that's what it all comes down to, is building those relationships in all these three areas. And of course, you branch out from that. You branch out from your family to the rest of the world. Your relationship with education and your relationship with your faith informs the way you interact with everything and everybody. But for me, that's the core. And I think, I didn't actually ask her, but from the way she lives and the way she's homeschooled us, I'm pretty sure that vision and that goal is very much in alignment with what my mom's vision and goal for her homeschool was as well. We do definitely have some differences in the day-to-day of our homeschool and some differences in styles, and actually pretty soon, coming up in April, I will be having a video about things that I do differently from the way my mom did homeschool, so you can stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. Okay, one of the next homeschool related questions was, what is one of your greatest memories you have of homeschooling? And I feel like this probably shouldn't be one of my greatest memories of homeschooling, but it is an extremely fond memory. We had this little kind of foyer between all of our bedrooms in my house when I was a teenager, and that was our kind of school area. We all had tables set up and we would sit around the room and do our schoolwork there. And one afternoon, our mom had to go out for meetings or something like that. So she was gone for a couple hours and we were just all sitting around doing our schoolwork. I was in my I was probably about 14, 15, and everyone else was younger than me. My sister turned on a cassette tape player at her desk with a blank cassette in it. And for the whole afternoon, she just left that cassette player recording everything that we talked about, everything that happened throughout the day. So we're sitting in our schoolroom doing our schoolwork for a couple hours without mom. Maybe it was an hour and a half or so. I don't know how long, a cassette recorded. But we later played back that cassette recording and we listened to it several times, even with our parents. That cassette was a treasured family memory for a long time. And we never stopped talking throughout the entire cassette recording. There was always someone saying something random, somebody responding to someone, so much imaginative chit chat. Hey, what if this happened? I don't remember. It's been a really long time. I think sadly that cassette was lost to history and the changes in technology that have happened. But that cassette recording was the funniest thing I have ever heard, and even as a teenager, it struck me as highly amusing that while we were dutifully getting all our schoolwork done, reading our books, practicing spelling tests, all that, we were just talking with each other the whole time and just having a grand old time with me and all my younger siblings. That is one of my fondest memories, the day that we just recorded our conversations that would happen, especially when mom wasn't around, when I was growing up homeschooled. What is my favorite subject? I was asked, and I think anyone who knows me is probably gonna guess it's something to do with language arts, and I would say basically anything within that realm. I love foreign language studies, I love grammar, vocabulary, writing instruction, literary, reading literature and asking questions about it and diving into it. Basically anything on that whole side of the spectrum, English and any other language I get to be involved in teaching, those are by far my favorite subjects. Math is fine, it's just not what excites my passion and excitement, and I do get overly excited about things like the subjunctive mood and stuff like that, and my siblings kind of roll their eyes a little bit. But hey, you gotta have something that you're passionate about. What curriculum do you plan to use? I'm assuming that this is referring to in the 2021 through 2022 school year, and I will have those videos coming up for you very soon after this. I'll have a 10th grade video, a 5th grade video, and a preschool video. So 3 curriculum picks videos coming out. Okay, what are your favorite read-alouds and picture books? I don't have it with me, but my favorite read aloud for big kids is Cheaper by the Dozen, which is an old book about a family that had a dozen kids and they're being raised by an efficiency engineer. And this is a true story. It truly reads like basically a love letter written about their very eccentric father, written by his children. It is a very sweet story. I always cry when I get to the end of reading it, no matter how many times I have read the book. There is a lot that is reminiscent about my own life of growing up in a big family, and actually both of my parents are engineers, so there is a lot of strange, odd similarities that I can relate to in this old book, but it is truly a delightful book and one that I would want to share with any child. Okay, now on to the more personal question. I had a lot of questions relating to where we live. If you don't know, because it's kind of hard to tell just because you just see me like this all the time, we do live overseas. We are American. I'm originally from Michigan, the land of ice and snow, but I now live very close to the equator and enjoy tropical weather all year long. I was asked how did I end up in Asia, and basically the short answer is when I was a young teen, my family got moved abroad for my dad's job, and my parents my dad has worked in his same job for a very long time. I went back to America for college, and I kind of already felt at home in this side of the world, had made many friendships and relationships, and because I studied Chinese in college, I was very interested in living in China after college and practicing my language skills. So my husband and I moved to China after I got out of college. We lived there for a while and we really loved where we lived. We loved our small community there and the work that we did. But as we were thinking about having kids, we did want to be closer to family. So we ended up moving again to be closer to my family, and I have loved that. I have loved the opportunity, and I don't take it for granted to see my youngest siblings grow up more and get to do more life with them, because they were very young when I first moved out, because of the wide age gap that just happens when there's a lot of kids in one family. So I have truly treasured the opportunity to be back close to my family if I plan on living overseas for my whole life. And I feel like I cannot, and I don't plan to be overseas my whole life. I don't really have any plan one way or the other. I don't necessarily see myself living in the exact same place my whole life. I'm in my 20s, and I feel like most people in their 20s these days cannot think that, oh, I'm going to be in my same house my whole life, or I'm going to be in my same city my whole life. We do tend to be a more transient generation. I have no plans to move at the moment. For sure, I'm very grateful for my husband's job. It's a really good fit for him. I love having my little boys growing up very closely with their young aunts. And so I like where we are, but I don't make any grand statements of where we're going to be for the rest of my life. What was the transition like from a different country? I was also asked. And I guess that's a hard question because I was living where I am now when I was a young teen, and then I basically kind of moved back home in a sense. I also did move to China for a while. I feel like when you move around a lot when you're a kid, transition feels more like home and like normal than it feels like something totally different. Like we're just kind of used to, oh yeah, sometimes we'll move somewhere and we won't know how to do anything, and then you just learn how to do everything and it eventually becomes home. So, and several of my siblings have voiced the same kind of thing, that, you know, if you live in the same place for too long, you're like, doesn't it seem like I should be moving now? So I guess transition just feels like normal to me. And I also got asked, does most of my family live in Asia? I have a big family, so I would not say most of my family lives in Asia. My parents and my two youngest sisters live very close to where we do, and I have another sister and her husband who are living in China right now. All the rest of my family lives in different states in America. And I've got, of course, a huge extended family, grandparents, aunts and uncles and cousins and all that, and Angel's whole family, who are also spread out across America. So we've got a lot of roots still in the USA. Which brings me to, somebody asked, do you have any adventure plans for the summer? And I feel like it's really hard to say I have plans right now. Is anyone else struggling with that after the whole, 2020? But we are very hopefully planning that for the first time in over 4 years, we will be able to go to the USA and get to spend time with our family there, which would mean a lot. Neither of my sons have ever met any of their family in the USA. They've never experienced anything there. They don't know what it's like at all. I'm sure it will be quite a different experience for them, even at their young ages, but we are hopefully moving in the direction of making that our big adventure plans for the summer, and I would be so grateful if that does occur. Oh, this question I probably should have said earlier because I think it's actually more related to homeschool, but what is your advice on staying motivated? And my advice is probably more just like the really old-fashioned advice of remember that nothing great happens all at once. Great things are built from small acts of faithfulness, day after day after day. The small, humble little work that feels like it doesn't matter. It feels like, why am I doing this? It feels like you're maybe not accomplishing anything, but then when you look back and you were faithful and you did do the work and you just kept on going, even when you felt like they're never going to learn how to read, or they're never going to learn how to count, we're never going to get past this. You do, but it's by faithfulness, and it's by that small acts of you just keep going. Don't go back. So I think taking long breaks, or and I know that can be some people's advice, is like just stop doing school for a couple months. For me, I just really don't get behind that advice. I think It's more all in the just small day-to-day things. Make it your routine, make it your habit, and have a strong value for hard work. I highly value and respect hard work, and for me, I think that's a big motivation because I have a lot of value for hard work. When I see people working hard, that is inspirational and motivational to me. It doesn't make me feel like guilty or anything. It makes me feel like that is awesome because I do believe that we were made for work. We weren't made to lay around. We were made to work when it's time to work and rest when it's time to rest. And that's what I want to embrace. I don't want to shy away from work. And I do believe, I trust that when we do our work faithfully, little by little, day after day, all those small little things, hanging up the laundry, sweeping the floors, reading the books, that in the end you will look back and you will see something really beautiful. I got asked how did I meet my husband, and I met him on my first day of college, my very, very first day of college when I was 17, and it was not love at first sight at all. It was mostly like I barely noticed each other at first sight. We gradually became friends because we were part of the same Bible study group, and basically there's a whole story there, but basically in the end we got married rather suddenly, to the point of like people only found out we were going to get married when they got our wedding invitation, and they didn't even know we were together. So there's of course a whole story there. But it was not like the whole big romantic thing necessarily. It's more just the like we realized this was right. He realized, apparently he thought I would make the perfect wife. He thought of that in general. First he says he just knew me and thought I would make the perfect wife, and then sometime later he basically woke up and was like, I want to get married and I think I want to marry Rachel. And then it all just worked out from there. It's kind of weird, but it works. And what is your favorite animal? I do actually have a favorite animal, and if those who know me well know I'm not an animal lover. My favorite animal is a jellyfish because they look really cool and they're really dangerous. That's my favorite animal. All right, thank you so much for all your questions. I hope that was fun. I tried to get to all the questions. Some of them were kind of similar, so I combined them. And hopefully that was fun, and I just wanted this to be a rather celebratory video. And feel free to share, kind of your answers to some of these questions in the comments below. Now, I did promise you a giveaway. So for those of you who have stuck around this long, I want you to head to Instagram to enter the giveaway for an Amazon gift card to buy yourself books. Because what do homeschoolers need? More books. Even if we already have too many books. No, there's no such thing, okay? My whole life I wanted a library like the Beauty and the Beast library, and you gotta have books to fill it. So that is what I'm giving. Go ahead, head over there to Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment below so that you can enter very easily. I prefer to host my giveaways on Instagram just because it makes it much easier to contact the winner directly. And so yeah, that's it. That is so simple. Thank you so much for following along. Thank you for supporting 7 and All. Thank you for supporting our new venture of homeschool curriculum resources, affordable, printable curriculum on Where'd You Learn That? And if you're not signed up for our mailing list yet for Where'd You Learn That, definitely sign up for the mailing list because we are going to have some new stuff coming soon. And it's not all preschool. I'll just tell you right now, we have a history of the English Bible from before anything was written down up until modern day internet-based Bible resources. Thousands of years of history of one book covered in a whole unit study, and that one's for big kids. That's not a preschool thing, guys. So definitely keep following along for the adventure, and I'm so glad and so grateful that you're here already. All right, bye.